Welcome to Flipped Classroom. Today's lesson is on the cause-effect essay. Specifically, what killed Dawn and what will be her legacy. Whenever a question asks why, its answer requires you to discover the cause. Cause-effect is the analysis that explores the relationship between events or circumstances and the outcome that results. In cause-effect essays, the goal is to discover reasons for a particular situation. Also, to prove that certain actions have specific consequences. By knowing this, you can determine if the consequences could be predicted, or you can determine if you want to change the consequences. For example, give warning. In our specific essay about Dawn and her legacy, we will be looking at why did Tilly attack? What will happen to Tilly in SeaWorld? What will happen to Americans' perception of orcas living in captivity for entertainment purposes? When writing a cause-effect essay, you need to be careful of the fallacy post hoc reasoning. A fallacy is a jump in logic. For example, drinking coffee and then scoring 100% on a test means that coffee made you earn an A. That is illogical. That's a fallacy. That's post hoc reasoning. Just because event A precedes event B, event A is not necessarily the cause of event B. Just because you drink coffee isn't the sole reason you earned an A on a test. Could have been because you studied. You knew the material. The test was easy. Keep this in mind when looking at the situation with Dawn. As seen in the movie Blackfish, there was a man earlier who fell into the orca tank. That could be considered event A. And he drowned. That could be considered event B. So his death was caused by the orca dragging him to the bottom of the tank. At first it seems logical, but it's not necessarily the case. There could be other circumstances for the reason the man drowned. Maybe he was intoxicated, under the influence of drug. Possibly he was taunting the whale or luring the whale to do a dangerous act. So always keep in mind with cause-effect, there could be multiple reasons. When writing the essay, there will be 7 steps. 1. Pre-writing. Creating a brainstorm, developing your thesis statement and an outline. Then you will begin writing your first draft. You will use Google Docs so that we can share it with class. Share it with classmates. You will self-edit, and then there will be a peer edit using Google Docs. After your peers have edited your essay, you will revise and polish the essay and submit your final draft. Final drafts get submitted to Schoology. Even though Ms. Bronstein can read them on Google Docs, it creates a space in the gradebook when you submit the essay to Schoology. After the essay is complete, Ms. Bronstein will give you comments and a rubric. It's very important that you read the comments and rubric, even if you earn an A on the essay, because that is where you get the feedback to always improve your writing. Let's take a look at the brainstorm. In the brainstorm, you want to pick out causes for causes for Dawn's death. For example, there might be some issues with whales in captivity. The fact that Tilly was denied food. Possibly that the whale was bored. Some of the effects could be that trainers no longer allowed in the water with orcas, or Tilly's no longer performing. There's low attendance at SeaWorld. Go through the steps and list as many ideas in the brainstorm before you begin writing your essay. A typical outline for a cause-effect essay includes an introduction paragraph that has your catchy opening, background on the topic, and your thesis statement. Then there would be a section, then there would be a paragraph on all the causes, whether the causes are primary or immediate, remote, or contributory. Next would be a paragraph on the effects. Once again, specifically identifying them as primary or immediate, remote, and contributory. Finally is the conclusion paragraph. This is one of the most important parts of the essay because that is where you demonstrate your critical thinking. What lessons are learned by this specific event, and what is a global insight, a universal truth. When you're writing your Blackfish essay, we're going to specifically use a catchy opening that's a shocking statistic. Then you will have some background on orcas, SeaWorld, the events that Dawn experienced, and then your thesis statement. Here's a sample. By analyzing the causes and effects of Dawn's death, orcas and the people who love them will be safer. Then you'll look at all the causes that you wrote in your brainstorm and develop that into a paragraph. You'll look at all the effects you noticed you developed in the brainstorm, and you'd write about those. And in the conclusion paragraph, you write about the lessons learned from Dawn's death and what can be learned about all orcas, not just Tilly, all orcas and the people that love them, not just specifically SeaWorld trainers and their audience, so that humans and sea life can benefit. Some of the transition words that you'd like to use in your essay are shown here. Try to use a variety of them. The most common transition word in a cause-effect essay is because. Push your writing abilities to try to use a variety of these. Also, make sure you're spelling effect and affect correctly. One is a noun and one is a verb, and often the spell check will not pick that up. Okay, you're ready to write your essay. Thank you for joining me today in Flipped Classroom.